Good. Your glasses are clean. You're a hater. We're here live with Money Boy TV discussing local basketball in the Tri-City area. And the topic is, are we as coaches doing enough for women's basketball locally? And before we get started, we will allow each of our guests a moment to introduce themselves, starting from my left and your right.
Hi, I'm Pam Smith, community college, and after junior college, I went on to Auburn University. I am currently 25 years in coaching.
Hello, I'm Carla McKinney. I am a local teacher and coach here in the Tri-City area, a former Kendrick High School basketball player. Went on to play basketball at East Tennessee State University.
Hello, Michael Woods. Currently, I'm the sports director here at Girls Inc. I'm also assistant women's basketball coach at Chattahoochee Valley Community College.
Coach JT. I have daughters that play basketball locally here, 7th and 4th grade. I'm also a girls basketball trainer. I just want to, get the best for this area.
Okay, so the first question I'm going to ask is, what is the difference in basketball now and then, from a current time to a time in the past?
I guess I can start since Coach Pam said I'm the oldest. She ain't my age, so I guess I'm the oldest on the panel. I'll say the difference right now is a lot has changed. A lot has changed as far as time to develop. Back in the day when I first started, some 20-some years ago, doing travel basketball, we didn't have to compete. The travel ball coaches didn't have to compete with summer league. So now summer league has become a big issue, and it has become a thing now. High school coaches are able to have their teams in June to play. So me personally, I think that a lot of it has to do with the timing that we have with kids. We don't have that much time we used to have with kids, so there's a big drop off. And also, I would like to say that I think the rec departments I'm excited about this forum.
Awesome.
Well, Coach Mike, my then was the last millennium when I was a player, and back then, any game that you were to go to, whether it was a Jordan versus Spencer or out. And so every night as a player, we had to bring a game they wanted to go see because, oh my gosh, I want to see basketball be on an evening that are just not as talented, but you have some teams that are very talented, and therefore the playing field is not level. You have lopsided games. I would like to see it get back to where talent is spread out all across the city so that this city can make a name for themselves in the state.
Well, as for me, as a player, I'm not from this area. As I said, I'm from Eufaula, so, and I'm right behind Mike. So on the positive aspect of it, when I played, there wasn't too many girls that played like me. And played with the boys, and there was not too many outlets for the girls to play, as opposed to having rec league and travel ball going on right now. And you can find too many gyms right now. You can go in any city and find 4 or 5 gyms or outdoor facilities for them to participate in. And you see the talent level of the girls now. I mean, you go on YouTube. I think I shared something with you, JT. You go on there, you seeing them, they're dunking. Easily. So the skill level has changed because more repetition. They're becoming a lot of them are getting a lot more experience through those leagues. But on another note, just to piggyback on some what they're saying, a lot of them are just going to that one program, and it's not dispersed. It's not evenly dispersed among the athletes.
I have a different perspective on it. I think I got a unique way to put it. I'm speaking from my experience from when I was growing up and with my daughter. So I think when I was growing up, there was that, like, how can I put this? There was opportunities for me to play. My dad was like, I don't think the parents are as educated, like in the training aspect. What I mean is, my dad would drop me off and take me to practice, but I don't think he understood the reps of training and things like that. And I realized that with me being an adult, like when I had my daughter, I wanted to make sure that she trained. But I think with this age group, we're trying to tell them, hey, you need to get out there and work, because we know that, like, a player like me, I feel like I would have been better if I would have had more training or more, like just training, drills, and repetition versus just going to practice. So I try to tell my kids and my daughter that, hey, take advantage of this. And some of these kids are just lazy. Some of these kids think you're being hard on them, but you're trying to show them, like, hey, my dad was in the Army. And then I'm not mad at him. I love my dad. He took care of me. He just didn't understand what a shoot. You got shooting machines now that people can use nowadays. You got Vertimaxes. So some of these kids are not taking advantage of it. And like, go back to what we were saying, we have to educate everybody. Just because I know it, if I'm not telling everybody, well, we're not, spreading the word out to say this is what these kids need to be doing, it hurts. And a lot of kids like phones, technology part of it. And the kids that gets it, those are the kids that's excelling. And I think with this city, we have to come together, because if I think I have an idea saying, hey, if we can get all the people to understand this, it'll bring more talent around to spread out. Because what happened is, piggyback what they're saying, if 1 or 2 kids per class is only doing it, that's not enough to go around. It's not even enough. Even if you say we still spread it out, it's some people that still left out. So, I just look at it a different way, to where we have to educate ourselves more on how to get better. That's how I look at it.
Okay, so when we discuss talking about spreading the talent out around the area, how important is skill development, and are the kids really getting it? And I'll give that question to Coach Carla.
Talent level, and are the kids really getting it? I think we first have to start with, like JT said earlier, was educating the parents. And then you have some parents that lady is saying really get to know a person and not listen to what one person says and just base it off of their own recognizance, then that's going to start to change. And it's not going to change overnight, saying we want it to be, because all of us are in the same age group, or at least Coach Mike and Coach Pam and myself. And we've been around this city. I was born and raised in this city. I've been here over 38 years. So I've seen basketball since before I was in high school to now as a high school coach and the talent level. So I think once parents...
a player, if they don't want to go to you, or they have, some people can't just pull that individual to where they need to be. They might need to connect with someone else. There's not that many female basketball coaches in Columbus, and I see that if they're not with your program, don't positive whatever that you bring into one program, you're going to be taken to the other program. But those individuals have to be like, that's a good program. You're inside. I mean, that's encouraging. And you got to be aware, when you set the foundation, you got to watch what you pour into those individuals.
So the question is, how important is skill development, and are the kids actually getting it?
Skill development is very important. I'm going to tell you something I learned. I've probably been doing about 5 years, but I'm going to tell you. So you have to evolve as a trainer, and there's a lot of things, like I was doing the same ball handling drills, and a lot of girls that I was getting, including my daughter, they would tap out. So I realized they needed to hear from other people as well. But skill training is very important. Like that is, you got to learn how to read. You got to learn how to write. You got to learn how to put 3 sentences in a paragraph and five sentences in a paragraph. And then you got to put 5 paragraphs in the essay. You got to start by one. I knew I was just beginning as a trainer, and I feel like I couldn't mess up if I kept with the basics. Like training is necessary. I don't care who you are. I don't care how good you think you are. If you're not getting 3 to 4 days workout the week, then you're not going to develop. It doesn't matter. Like I'm gonna give you an example, because I've been knowing Mike since I was 8 years old. Me and him been going at it, but I love this man, even though we go at it. But we talk all the time, and one thing that we say, that this one thing we agree on, no matter what, you have to put the work in. I can't just say it on Facebook. I can't just say it on YouTube. If I don't have no, if I want to train my daughter and I have no word for her to put the work in, it doesn't matter. They doing the same moves in the game they were doing last year. They're not getting no better. So first through fifth grade, that's the most important years of skill development, and it's absolutely important. It's like it's important. I want to say this while passing the mic. My daughter, I would say this because it's my kid. I'm using that experience. My daughter Jay Buzz was probably one of the most advanced first graders around here, and I know that's crazy saying that's young, but hear me out on this. Third grade started as a first grade, so people learn different, and the best way to do it is at the earliest age you can. Put in the work and train, and at least get 4 days out the week, and I think that's, like I said, very important.
Well, I'll take a little deeper because I was listening to Mike Jones, one of the everyday basketball players in 32 years, and I think sometimes the people as parents, going back to what Danny said, Paul said as well, they don't take advantage of the knowledge that some people, no matter what their story was and what they went through, you can learn from people if you just take time out to listen. I think Mike Jones has one of the best stories that male or female, you can learn a whole lot from him. If parents would just take the time out and listen and not, oh, he's old, he's over the hill, nobody knows who he is. Well, do your research and find out. And getting back to the question that you asked about the training and development, I see a lot of times that people are training kids, and I have a problem with, as on the college coaching level, that when we come in, when kid come in to us, they don't know anything about rotation. They don't know anything. Turn the ball, make you turn the ball over, and I'm going to win. I see kids still come to under how does an old man like me, 51 years old, do things too as far as training. When coaches and trainers are training, work on the defensive side of the ball as well, because I hardly ever see anything training footage of very important. But the bottom line to it, we got to teach the kid as a whole how to play the game. And is it here? We have a lot of people that's capable of training. I piggyback off what Pam said earlier. You know, at the end of the day, you got to make the decision what's going to be best for your child. We can be best of friends. We can go out, party together, have fun together, do all the things. But you ain't the best for my child. Our relationship should be in because of that. I'm making the decision that's going to be best for my child. You know, talk about to people and the new place where I'm. Bottom line to it, we're trying to provide. We're trying to get back to a place where. Last thing I would say, I got a phone call from somebody from Nike, and they was talking about Nike's fixing to get back so hard into girls basketball because they're losing a lot of girls basketball players to other sports. Girls are not playing basketball anymore like they used to. So we got to get back to, in our community, you can't help somebody else until you help home. And what we don't have here now is a lot of girls playing basketball. So, you know, we can get that done and get trainers and get people involved. This is a place where what I do here at Girls Inc. goes into my pocket. Everything we do goes into Girls Inc. and that Girls Inc. in turn around provides it for them to get exposed them on another level that some of these kids possibly wouldn't be able to get exposed to. So.
Okay, so what exactly is travel basketball, and how many travel programs are there in the Tri-City area? And is that enough, or is that too many programs? You can start.
Go, JT, you want to go first?
Because I want to. So let me explain this to you. And I know that this is a question I've been waiting on. What is travel basketball? To me, it's 3 different categories, and I'm going to stick on the category that I love the best. The younger side of it is changing. It's changing. I sent, I'm not going to say his name, I sent a message to somebody showing somebody. They have first grade nationals. It's changing. This area, I used to tell people like, hey man, there's second grade nationals in Oklahoma. People think I'm crazy, but it's the truth. So we have to, like, travel basketball, you have to, I mean, it's something that you have to take serious. You see what I'm saying? And and let me make this point real quick. So I feel like every girl in elementary should play nationals. They should travel and play nationals. They should train locally, play in some statewide events, and go experience AAU nationals in Orlando. Go experience U.S. amateur nationals in Knoxville, Tennessee. You can't get that back, and that's the stepping stone of how you can be great. There are some kids that can start in 6th grade and be great. It's hard as hell. Excuse my language. It's hard to start that late. You want to start early. Then this whole thing, and I know Mike, and they'll get it to you. Travel ball and exposure ball. You see what I'm saying? That's 2 different things. So my main thing when I speak on the travel ball is, if you have a daughter that's in the 1st grade, that is a perfect time to start taking basketball serious. Stop thinking you can wait to the 5th grade, because it's too late. It's too late in my perspective, because now they got to work 3 times as hard. Coach know that. My girl daughter started playing in the 5th grade. And how many times I had to work Chloe out a week? About 5 days a week, 5 times a day, just to catch up. It was hard. She's catching up now, but now her mom was like, man, I wish I would have started in the 1st grade. So when it comes to travel ball, start as early as you can. Don't wait. Don't care what no one said. That's the best advice I can give you. Start as early as you can and take it serious, because travel ball is changing. It's not like how it was anymore. But that's the only good thing about travel ball. It's proven it can be done at a younger age. And if you get people that's passionate, that's really working with the younger kids, it can work. So I'm speaking through just elementary wise. That's what I learned, and I'm sticking to it. You got that. I had to say that off.
Well, travel basketball, you asked a question about how many programs there are. Just let me touch on something real quick. We have extended, over the years, I've sat on many phone calls with many organizations and said to them that Columbus, Georgia, Phoenix City, which is my home, I consider them one. We call it Tri-City area when you add Fort Benning into the mixed programs when we divide up our kids. My goal for the last couple of years has been, it's not about me, it's about the kids. How do we get these kids playing at a high level? Number one, going back to skill development, but staying home, playing locally, playing together. I think they're at their best when they do that. When you're able to, just like JT said, when you're able to get into a gym and practice 4 or 5 times a week, versus your parent got to take you to Atlanta, and that's only on the weekend. Then that kid's got to go to Atlanta and practice with kids that she don't know anything about, and you asking her or him to perform at a level that you think they're capable of doing, but their teammates been practicing 2 or 3 times that week. They missed that. So my whole thing has been within the last few years is trying to get the organization to merge in, to play up under one umbrella. Forget about the pettiness. Forget about it for the betterment, what I thought was the betterment for the kids, not because of me. So again, I answered this question and I'll pass the mic. These are girls. We have the Blazers, Blazing Exposures, and then you have Georgia Jaguars. 8 teams that are in here. And my last thing I would add to it again, if you take the top kids off each one of those programs and put them together, now you go. She's now coaching it. Shout out Jaquella Woods. She's recovering. She had a little accident this week, but anyway, that's my baby. I love her. Shut up. I'm sorry, but anyway, she's doing a great job at Northside High School, and just remembering, I brought her name up because the group that she started playing with, I think she was the youngest of the group that she started playing with, and all those girls end up signing Division I scholarship, and they were all local. I think we had one kid in that whole 20-something girls with Coach Freeman's team, bless the dead, and my team. We had one girl that was not local, and we consider her local because her mom would drive her over here all the time, and that was Trevisha Jackson from Auburn High School, from Auburn, Alabama, and she went on to play at Auburn University. But every other girl in our program were local. They practiced here every day. They played, and all those kids signed scholarships. So when you tell me that you have to take a kid to Atlanta, you got to take a kid here, you don't have to do it. And I think that's the beauty of what we're here for, and what JT is, what we're talking about, what we're trying to do to bring these kids back to our city and represent, because the money that we're generating for other cities and other programs, we can generate it for here. So I'm going to pass the mic on.
Could you expound on the difference? You said it's 3 levels?
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, I'll let them explain it, but I was just saying, to me, it's the elementary side, it's the middle, and the high school. You see what I'm saying? I just say the elementary kid, that's what kids might be ready for an exposure side. Some kids need a little bit more developed. And in high school, I realize now, some girls I deal with, the high school is different. So you have to make sure you connected with people that know coaches and know things like that. So I just want to break the difference down of little kids, have fun, but still serious. And in middle school, kind of getting, to that level, and you can kind of tell whether you're at. And in high school, it's a whole nother beast.
I think it's the introduction. What he's talking about. You know, you introduce them to it at a young age. Again, when you start off too late, you're behind the 8 ball. You want to introduce those kids to it. They might not like it. They might find something else they want to do, but introduce it to them at a younger age. And like you said, it is fun. When we did it, we went to YBOA Nationals and stuff like that. When we got to an age where we had outgrown the AAU, we moved on to exposure basketball. And I think the biggest difference between what he's talking about, a lot of people, once they get to be in the seventh grade, 8th grade, they start shying away from what he's talking about. It's no fun anymore. Now it's talking about where the college coaches are. They start to want to do that. So around that 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade is very important. But around the 7th and 8th grade, that's when they started realizing about the exposure basketball. And exposure basketball is a level where if you're not playing on the main circuits, you're not going to get noticed. Too many times people are telling kids, well, you don't have to do this, you don't have to get somewhere. You know, I've watched kids area butts. My baby, she's not my biological child, but I've watched this kid go from being a big kid walking around at Marshall Middle School that wanted to be a cheerleader at 6'2". And I say, baby, you barking up, that's the wrong sport. And she bought into what I thought was best for her. Because I could be overbearing, graduate from Rutgers, play for one of the legendary coaches, doing great for herself now, and probably did. She'll laugh probably looking at this now, and she's laughing when I say this. She did better academically in college than she did in high school because she had a great support system. It wasn't just about the basketball with her. She had people that told her that I ain't going to promise you how much time you're going to get at Rutgers. I am going to promise you're going to graduate from University of Rutgers. And that's what it is. And again, those are the different levels as far as what JT was talking about. And I guess hopefully that answers your question. But if not, that's it. I'm good.
I'm gonna leave those experts with the difference in travel ball and exposure ball.
Okay.
Yep.
So, what has prevented this from already taking place, and basically what's going on with our youth leagues to stop this from happening, or stop us from moving forward with this concept?
Well, I guess I'll take a stab at that question. With the youth league, because I've worked in the parks and recreation sector, actually coached the Blazers as well back when he started the Jaguars. Thank you. And would drive them to the different exposure tournaments. But back then, it was a time where the rec centers were full of kids. And if that kid did not make their middle school or their high school team, they were able to play in a league around the city, the Columbus Youth Basketball. So kids were constantly having a ball in their hand, which is something that JT touched on. You do have to start at an early level. I too have a daughter that has come through Muskogee County, right here in the Tri-Cities area. I didn't want to force basketball on her because I just wanted her to expound on the type of sport she wanted to play, and she actually is a good golfer. But I started her when she was 2 and 3 playing over at Frank Chester Center in the Columbus Youth Basketball League. And then, of course, she played on at East Columbus and Rothschild, and then went on to Hardaway High School, played in the, JT says, go Hawks, go Hawk. Then she played in the Jaguar program as early as she could. That worked out well for her. Ended up receiving a scholarship to Southern Union, and now is getting ready to sign another scholarship. I'll leave that under wraps for right now, but she's being successful when it started at a very young age. Oh, and she's getting ready to go to Clark Atlanta, and I'm gonna make that announcement. But she started at a young age, put the ball in their hand. But along with putting the ball in their hand, the rec centers offered us as parents that opportunity. The recs were hot around here. Every rec center had 2 and 3 and 4 different Columbus Youth basketball teams, which, like I said, if you didn't make your middle school team or you didn't make your high school team, because they allowed them to play up through 9th grade, you were able to go into the rec center and have a league, continue your skill set, and then you can go back and try out for that school next year. And kids were successful. They were making teams. So that's a big thing that I would like to see get back into Columbus as well. Everybody on the same page. You know, it's about the kids. If we're genuinely saying that it's about the kids, it's really about the kids.
Well, with me, like I said before, with my background, they never have that much exposure as it is right here. However, with me on board here at the Girls Inc., working under Coach Woods, and we're doing this rec league, I'm just very disappointed in seeing the number of kids that we have, especially girls. It's not enough girls at all playing, and we're limited. And how do we get back to that? I'm not sure. Personally, I'm not sure, because they have so much other stuff that they're drawn to. You know, they're screenagers. Everything is in their face. But as JT was saying, with the parents, it should go. They'll level it on there. They need that, and it's more than just sports. Sports is life. I mean, you're developing that individual, that child, to become team work with the team, being able to communicate and put forth effort in everything they do and not give up. Okay, so that's just my input on it.
We'll let JT finish, but I'm gonna say this. I think the biggest issue, Pam said something about in the Parks and Rec League. We here at Girls Inc., we had to partner up with the YMCA, the Parks and Rec, and us at Girls Inc. in order to have a league for girls. Now, you say we only have like 6 teams of girls between the ages of 9 and 12. Our 6 to 8-year-old girls had to go and play in the YMCA co-ed league in order for them to have a season. The Parks and Rec division had a bunch of boys, so it wasn't going to be fair for our girls to play against all boys. Most of their teams are co-ed as well, but it's majority boys out at with the Parks and Rec League. So they told us that, you know, so we chose to put them in the YMCA League. I would say this: there are more, even though the numbers are down, there are more girls still playing basketball. What I think the problem is, we all do what we do and just combine the girls, just the girls alone. The boys gonna take care of themselves. That was gonna take care of the kids' uniforms. They all get brand new uniforms, and we could have all signed our kids up that league. The city pays for all the referees. They have all the uniforms. They have all the gyms. I think they had a total of like 13 or 14 girls sign up through Parks and Rec, and that's not good at all. So I think our numbers are low, but I think if my goal is for everybody to start pulling together and stop using kids as a reason why things don't happen. Start looking at yourself and start saying, wait a minute. If we would put girls coordinator for the Blazers, I was taken to the first AAU meeting up in Atlanta, and the 2 people that went with me drove up there that I went with. They went to the boys' side, and I went to the girls' side. And upon going to the girls' side, we were actually having this meeting in a church on a Sunday. These people had Sunday church leagues going on for kids 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. They were leaving from playing their game, going to Bible study, playing. People wasn't forgetting about church and they wouldn't allow their kids to just say, you know, they were doing all of it in one place. I'm talking about these kids were leaving out of church. I'm leaving out off the court, going to Bible study, and they were playing basketball on Sunday. About us merging. And stop saying it's about the kids and realize it ain't really about the kids. It's about you. But if they do those things, I think we'll be better off, even without numbers, and we'll gradually get more kids back to playing, because if people see success and they seeing things, they'll gradually bring their kids to it. Right now, with COVID and a lot of things like that, people don't know. They don't have a clue about where to go, who to go to. Again, somebody said something about this earlier. If I trust JT, and I said, JT, where do I take my kid? And JT said, well, don't take him to Girls Inc. That person might not come to Girls Inc. all because they trust JT. And they're not going to bring their kids to Girls Inc. Whereas in Girls Inc. provide so much for kids, opportunities, scholarships beyond scholarships. That kid might not get a scholarship for athletically, but they can if they are members here at Girls Inc., they can get scholarships. So let's say, for instance, if a kid earns a scholarship to play at a Division III school. And most Division III schools don't really have scholarships. It's based on their academics. What if that parent, that kid, they come up and they say, well, the most we can give you is $22,000 and it costs $35,000 to go to school. Well, Girls Inc. can give scholarship money for that kid so that that kid parent won't have to take out loans and stuff like that to go. And a lot of people don't know that. So just got to understand the resources and the different things that are out there for these kids to make it work. So pass it on, JT.
I'm in, and I always laugh because I think I give an outside opinion. I'm gonna give an honest opinion. The two main things to me is, one is marketing, and the other two is people just don't. I feel like people didn't listen to ideas. I may be wrong, but league and this and that and the third, but I don't know who to talk to. And then I don't want to. Certain people, it's like I feel like I couldn't tell Coach Wood some things, and it shouldn't be like that. I feel like I should be able to walk inside of the direct department and say, "Hey, this is my idea. You should hear this out," and they shouldn't shut the door in the face. Like my issue was, I felt like I had so many different ideas, but I felt like people wasn't going to listen. You know, it's a lot of things. There's a lot of leagues going on now that I help with my ideas. There's a lot of camps that go on, and I'm not just talking about in this city, and that's what, I was talking about the league, the All-Star thing I'm doing. If we bring our ideas together to help, for the better city of Columbus, I'm all down for that. I just really feel like people don't listen. Some people are stuck in their ways, and at the same time, some people's ways may be better, but it takes time like this. You have to sit down and talk and say, well, what's really best? And I'm gonna give you an example. If I love my daughter and I want her to be in a rec league, I don't have a building. I have to be realistic. That's nothing. You have to be realistic. I don't have referees, so I can come to somebody with an idea to have a building to help better the league. So my thing is just being realistic, making sure that people understand what they can bring value to, and just listen. If you listen to people, I believe that ideas can come together. And last thing I want to touch, man, is just you got to be for the kids. That's just the main thing. It shouldn't be. This city should have the. When I played, like she said, I would never forget. I played for Frank Chester, Benning Park. That's what we called it back, Benning Park. Yo, it was like AAU. It was like we was hyped to play Salmon Road, hyped to play against Shirley B. It was like I felt like you won a championship pre-AAU. So I don't know. I don't know where it would start because I don't know. I would love to talk to anybody, but I don't have a gym. I don't have a building. I don't have keys. But I agree. I wish everybody for recs can get together so we make it a huge rec league, and then we can market it like with Money Boy TV. And we got enough to pump our own self up to be huge, but you got to just come together.
Okay, and with that, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll see you back.
Broken windshield got you down? Fix it fast with ASAP Auto Glass. Call 1-800-WINDSHIELD for fast, friendly, reliable service at your location. Any make or model from smart cars to tractor trailers, we do it all. Get the ASAP Advantage with a lifetime warranty for as long as you own your vehicle. ASAP has great prices for all your glass needs. We meet or beat competitors' prices. We also repair power windows, sunroofs, and headliners. Call 1-800-WINDSHIELD for glass. ASAP.